Good morning, good afternoon, and hello. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Today, we're going to talk about the calendar events that we got so far for March. Big shout out to DW Viper, who's in the chat, who always puts these lovely things together. We're also going to talk about a couple things that maybe you're interested in terms of what's working, what's not. I think all of it's basically working now, but I am curious to know your thoughts. So, for example, I have raised with the Overlords the fact that Ops 50 players get asked to do the G5 solo armadas and Ops 60 players get asked to do the G6. And that doesn't seem right, but who knows? These are all things that we're looking into. Hopefully the other content creators well, but regardless, we're all going to come here together and we're going to try to gather as much of your early first 24-hour thoughts, because if we count when the Battle Pass went live yesterday, it hasn't even been live for 24 hours. So we get all of your thoughts. So pull up a chair, sit down, have a good time. Hope you are. Good to see Mage Samo, Erwin, Viper, SFC Gamers, Sean, Sheldon, James, Jerry, Reginald, Mr. Red, Bruno, K. Gall, Mr. Stoffel, Mihai, everybody else coming on in. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And yeah, without further ado, I guess we should start with the calendar. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen. Now, as always, this will be put into our Discord. It's not there quite yet, so we just got this together this morning. But for those curious, we are, of course, starting up here. Today is Wednesday, and we will have the entire week. So I'm just going to have this here in the background for you to peruse and you to enjoy. Make sure this is, I'm going to get this centered just so you can see all the things here. One sec. I'm going to maneuver this around and make it to where we definitely see the entire week. That's what I want. See the entire weekend. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. Now it's easier to see. All right, so we can start seeing what is going to be going on. As you can see, various ticket events. You can see several heroics, the CT, SLB, but also several different SMSs, all color coordinated. Again, thanks to Viper for putting this together every month. Tremendously appreciated. Viper's been doing this. Viper, we've been doing this like 3 years now. Big shout out to you. Truly, a big thank you. I mean, for those that don't even know who Viper is, Viper plays War Thunder with me almost religiously and plays Star Trek Fleet Command some, but makes an amazing calendar that we all use every single month. And they've been doing it for a very long time now. Nobody like pays them for it. Nobody tells them to do it. They just do it. Pretty cool of them. So as I said, purple ones are the event meta runs that are currently going on for the big meta, which is to retrieve the kill switch. So a big thank you out to DW Viper, who puts this together and pretties it up and makes it into the L cars format. All of us Trek fans have come to love, and wish all my devices and appliances. I wish my refrigerator, I wish my toaster, I wish everything had L cars. Sadly, not the case. Maybe in 100 years, when I'm long gone, my grandchildren will have L cars all over the place. Mr. Brown's going to see, says a quick question: is the PvP event working on your server? Is broken for 40 through 49s on a few others? I have not tested it yet over here on server 20, which you can see in the background, mostly because I've been trying to get the calendar stuff out first, but we'll be doing that testing, and I have already messaged the Overlords about a couple of issues yesterday, and I will be, after the end of this stream, two things I have to do. Number one, I have to finish putting out the video for Solo Waves, talking about basic crewing and stuff, and number two, I've got to, finish like hammering things for feedback to the Overlords for things that needed to fixed or that are liked. So we'll see. And appreciate it, Mr. Bounce. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel and being here. Pretty awesome of you. So yeah, we've got all the different things here. Let me know if there's anything specific you want me to zoom in on. And of course, this will be provided in my Discord later on. So I'm scrolling it down so y'all can see the final week of it. But if y'all need anything specific while we have this up, feel free to ask. Just a reminder to like the stream. Every like helps Rev Streams and helps him with YouTube coding. This is very true, Brigadier Jones. This is actually very true. Thank you for calling that out. I do greatly appreciate it. Let me get my Discord out the way so I can have this up just in case the Overlord's message while we are talking. And we can also, let me know if y'all need this, and I'll post this. If y'all remind me, I am so sorry, but last month, I actually forgot to post this immediately after sharing it. And I think it was like 8 o'clock that night, I finally put it in my Discord. Y'all don't let me do that again. A big apology for doing it that time. That's definitely not the plan. I have another plan. Find a buddy from another alliance, send a fleet of fortunates and 1 combat ship. Combat ships, max fortunates, done in 3 minutes. Don't also forget the Vimit technique. We can turn a 2-for-1 in, and that's also very nice. A 2-for-1 is quite nice. So do that as well. PvP events, in all honestly, are pretty easy to complete. I mean, assuming that the mechanic's working. You know, there's a lot of ways we can get that done. Me personally, I actually like to get into PvP. I actually use it for an opportunity to test crews and stuff. And that also only works if there are people wanting to do that. So, you know, however you get it done, get it done. Charles, good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for the 199 super chat and supporting me and my kids. It's a lot. So, happy Wednesday. Here's hoping you're well. I'm doing well, John. I hope you're doing well as well. Good to see you. Yeah, yesterday was good. Obviously, it was busy because we ended up having to wait 2 hours to do our Battle Pass giveaway, and sadly that meant I ended up streaming the exact same time as Lube, which I don't like to do that, but ended up happening. But we gave away 5 Battle Passes, and for those here, Vimit is useless. Why is Vimit useless? Not useless. Why is Vimit useless? Anyway, for those here, if you have not already, go over to Twitch and follow, because we'll be giving away those on Friday night. So we have 5 more Battle Passes to give away. PvP losses don't score? Yeah, of course but that's not the point. The point is you get a buddy and you run Vimit for less trips. You get a buddy and you run Vimit for less trips. I mean, you're helping out your alliance. You're helping out, well, you're not helping out your alliance. You're helping out your server. You're helping out your buddy. Less trips is better. I like less trips. I'm lazy. I'm an American. For those who do not know, I'm from the United States of lazy. And I would much rather send 1 ship that dies twice and 2 ships that die once, so I can help out all my buddies. Hopefully they do the same for me. But again, all right. Reginald says specific issue choice rewards. You can get 5-star epic crystal, but not 5-star gas or ore. Unfair advantage for intercept ships. So Reginald, I'll just tell you the same thing I've been telling everybody for the past like 3 months. That is just simply taking what the battle pass has always paid out and putting it into a choice. So that's simply what it's been happening for the past like 4 years. Could it change? Sure. But it's not like they took the ore and took the epic out. It's just literally always been that way. People probably just didn't notice it as much because most people were probably just collecting their battle pass rewards. So yeah, I'm sure that it could change, but at the same time, it's not like we've lost anything. It's always been that way. And there's always been other ways that they'll give ore. Maybe they'll do more ore events. And I can tell you that in terms of like the monthly allocated amounts, now keep in mind, they'll space those out between a lot of different things, between events, battle passes, specialty stuff, and even, you know, trying to take into account what you get from specialty ships and everything. You get the same amount each month, but from different sources. The choice rewards has definitely made it more obvious that the battle pass has a disparity. But that's just me giving you the info. Should it change? Cool. I'm actually indifferent to whether it should change or not. I personally don't care, but I don't support it. That's not a word. I don't not support it either. I definitely get the argument. Just letting you know that it's not like a mistake, nor is it something that like players have been taken away from. It's just one of those that I'm letting you know how it works. So they posted server 715. Will you be playing on it by chance? I will not. No, I am playing on 710, and while I love the game, I could make an account and play with you on 715. Even me, somebody who does this all the time, every day, don't have time to do that. I don't. Sorry, I don't. Running that many accounts full-time is tough. I have 2 accounts that I log into every single day, and then I have another 6 accounts that I log into, like semi-regularly. And that doesn't count the dozens of accounts I have that I don't touch any longer. There's even some on the old stream computer that when I changed computers 2 years ago, I just left them over there. So I would love to meet the people on 715. If y'all make an official Discord for server 715, I'd love to come over there. Love to teach the players and new players, established players, help them get everything going, but definitely can't afford to play time-wise on every server, though I wish I could. That would be heckin' awesome. All right. Swords says, Oz50 here. I can clear 3, almost 4 of the solo wave defenses. I know many are struggling, but you can do it. Sent you a Discord link for later if you want it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I know people can, but at the same time, I do think that if you label something as a G5 Armada, I'm going to go ahead and take this down, ladies and gentlemen. If you label something as a G5 solo Armada, then it should be G5, like in terms of the events. If you are a player at level 50 who can do them, that just means you're a good player at level 50. That means you're probably ready to go into G5. But the argument I'm making to the overlords is it's not really fair to have this and then say, okay, if you are, for example, level 50, you got Tribune, it's still not fair to put you in the G5 run because level 50 is not G5. Level 50 is G4. So you can be a great G5 and do it, but to me, that's not the point. The point is, if this is a G5 solo wave, which is exactly how they've presented it, then only G5 people should be expected to do it for event scoring. Now, again, I'm not saying that you as a player should be precluded from participating. Like if you want to be a level 50 and see how far you can make it, cool. Absolutely no issue at all with that. But when you label something as G4, G5, G6, so this is the G5 ones, these are the G6 ones, these are the G4 ones, then that should be the player base that's what they get for their events. The only issue I have is if you're level 50 or level 60, you're getting events that tell you to do something for a G range you're not in. That's the only real thing I'm raising. I have no issue if you're out there and you're just super good with your NSEA and your Tribune and your Enterprise A, and you're able to take on 3 or even 4 of these waves somehow in G5. That's great. That means that you're doing really, really good. Lou, by the way, good to see you. But I don't think that's right to make events like that. Don't tell people you have to do it because that just is going to end up, having people get left out, and that's just not cool. It's just not cool. By the way, Lube, great to see you, my friend. Sorry that we ended up having to stream at the same time yesterday, but just know that it wasn't malicious and I love you. Waiting for the daggum battle pass to work so I could give away battle passes. That was kind of a bummer, but I'm glad to see you back streaming because I know you've been out and about. So I know you've been out and about. Actually, G5 is 53 through 62. No, it's not, Nelson. I don't even know why you would make that statement. That doesn't even make sense. No, G5 is 51 to 60. That is where G5 is. All right. You're just saying all this morning to your alliance. Well, good to know that I'm parroting it. It's good to know that I'm parroting. You know what? You go and tell your alliance. I actually took all my talking points from you. Now, Dark Smite says, IMOS 50 was able to do 3 of the 50 solo waves. The 45 was easy. Again, remember, and I say this in a nice way. You are a donut. You're a Deuce's donut. You're like me. You're dedicated to the game, and anybody who comes to a live stream. Yeah, this is a Wednesday, and it is 12:14 p.m. Central American time. You're watching a Star Trek Fleet Command YouTube live stream. You are a donut, okay? You are a hardcore. You don't count. You're not the average player in a good way, right? Like you're probably one of the better players. So keep that in mind. But the average 50 is not running up to level 3 of a G5. Nelson, again, I don't know where you think you're getting your information, but G5 is 51 to 60. It has never been 53 to 63. That has never been the case. Ever. It's 51 to 60. All right. So if you are out there and you're like the 50 or the 60 who can do it, that's awesome, but it's not fair to who expect everybody else to be the same way. It just means that you're probably ultra dedicated, and proof positive of ultra dedicated is noon on a Wednesday, you're on YouTube, maybe during your lunch break, or you're just saying heck it to work responsibilities, and you're here to learn more about STFC. So again, that's not bad. I actually love that. I think that's awesome. Thank you for supporting me and the kids. But don't expect all the 50s to be like you. We didn't have anywhere else to be. Hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm just saying, of the 260,000 players who play every single month, I reach like 60,000, 70,000, depends on the month. I think the most I've ever reached was about 90,000 in a single month, according to YouTube analytics for individual viewers. Very small portion. I mean, that's great numbers. I'm very appreciative, but that's such a small number. So don't expect everybody else to be able to pull like you do. And in fact, if we go to stfc.pro, where would you rank amongst all 50s, Dark Smite? Where would you rank amongst all of them? We need harder solo waves? Oh, lube. Oh, lube. Always got to be one of y'all. Always got to be one. There's always one. All right, let me hop in here. All these dang extra clicks I got to do now. Get these clicks done. And then I am going to do one solo wave here on stream. So for those who didn't see it on the YouTube or on Twitch stream, I'll do it on YouTube. I have a video coming out at roughly 2:33 p.m. Central Standard Time, going over the basics of waves, some basic crewing. And in fact, if y'all want to, get some edits in before then, feel free to reach out to me if you have some ideas for crewing. I'm going to put in some basic crews for what people should use. Lube, I'm curious to know what you're using. I'm sure a lot of us are going to be on similar wavelengths and path lines in terms of, using Janeway, Doc, and Strange New World Cruise. And if you're a G4 player, you can still use Pipe Moro Chin. So curious to see where everybody kind of flows in with that. But if you want to throw something in and say, hey, Rev, I think I have some good ideas, you want to shoot it to me before that video comes out, you better get it in right now. Better get it in right now. So let's see what else we got here. I don't want to ever skip questions. Understand what Nelson's saying. He's basing on G5 ships, not the fact you start getting resources in 51. But that's a terrible way to base it, Ryan. That's not how the game bases it in terms of events. That's not how the game bases it in terms of what you have access to in leaderboards and what you actually have access to in materials and what you have access to in ships. For example, you can max out a Voyager and a Monavine in G5, but you gotta get to level 51 to do it. It's still G5. So it's not ever been based on ships alone. It's always been based on the economy of the game. So G5 is 51 through 60. To say anything else is incorrect. So I get what he's saying, but maybe it's the Tism in me. I have to say that is incorrect. Like, I get what he's saying, but he's saying something incorrect. You have a video just out with a couple been using 3 full hostile crews. Actually really needs some planning. I agree. Yeah, feel free to shoot to me, Loop. If you would like one key officer, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little preview. If you've managed to unlock them, Dane is super useful because these are very unique. And wait, I have Dane here? Where do I have Dane handling? Oh, hold on. Where do I have Dane? Where did I put him? He must be on ship B or C. But anyway, Dane can be, oh yeah, I put him here. Super handy if you got him, because a little bit of extra impulse, because these waves, they will launch not only in different directions, they launch in different depths, and being able to get there really quickly is really handy. So a little bit of a preview, and yes, I did test out this crew. If you happen to have it, works just quite well. So yeah, I will have that video again out. My target is little under 3 hours from right now, right? So if you want to be part of that, I'll try to get all the editing done. This live stream will go about an hour, a little bit shorter than we normally do, but again, trying to get y'all a lot of content here because I know y'all have a lot to do. Burning Chronos says, as a 62, I have to do all the G6 stuff. That makes me a G6 player. Pretty simple. Cool. I don't want to turn this into like do a big thing. I just don't want, you know, the world of disinformation. I don't want to be the disinformation ginger. So I'm just trying to put it out exactly how it is. Lube Rocks. You over the pond, Rev? Oh, I think we both got offended simultaneously by that one, Denro. He got offended and I got offended at the same time. Wow. Wow. Way to get 2 streamers to hate you. Good job, Denro. All right. I assume Fleet Commander Lorca's wave abilities triggers in the new waves. Yes, actually. So, Ryan, I have not tested every single item yet. However, I have done multiple tests about officers who are waved to verify they do work. And so far, I have been able to verify, for example, Laliari working. For those that don't know Laliari, she came with the Galaxy Quest run, which is not the one I meant to click. Laliari gives you Apex Barrier when in a wave defense. Now, I've had a very baby Laliari. However, the point of the exercise was to make sure that things that were originally designed for former waves work. And when we had mirror waves come out, we did the exact same thing. So, have confirmed that traditional wave items, favors, abilities do work on solo waves, as we would hope, right? As we would hope they would. And that's a good thing if you have some of those things laying around. I know 1,000 Apex Barrier might not seem like much, but how they've designed these waves is they're difficult hostiles that scale up, not like numerous hostiles. They're just very difficult. So if you haven't seen them yet, again, I'll do one here in a bit. But they're very, very potent hostiles. For me personally, that last round is tough on G5 unless I go in with a boost, which again, I think everybody should probably consider doing. Remember, these solo waves are not something that is meant to be done in a, consistent's not the right word. They're not meant to be done every day, right? So they're not a daily run. They're meant to be something that adds to what you're already doing with waves, hence the limited wave sourcing. These are things that we can kind of cover in today's video if y'all find it important. But they're meant to be done a couple times a week, and that pays out all 3 wave currencies, which is quite nice. But the hostiles do scale up, and we'll go over costs and everything. For those who haven't seen it, we do have the spreadsheet updated with the cost and the rewards for section 31. I can get that spreadsheet pulled up for you real quick. Me and Jules were talking about it a lot yesterday, and let me get to make sure this grabs what I wanted to grab. Yeah, that'll work. Here we go. Put this up on the screen, and here is the rewards for the various waves so as you complete them all. So for example, if you're let's say you are one of those level 50 players, right? And you can only beat the first 2 waves of G5. Then just do the G-Force, right? Because you want to do what's going to give you the most loot. As you can see here, the totals for completing all the waves are down there at the bottom. And if you're wanting to just get the most bang for your buck, then you want to follow this. If you happen to be one of those players who teeter-totters on what you can do, right? So if you are a level 60 and you cannot do any, maybe you don't do 1 wave, then you should be doing G5s. Regardless of what the events tell you, here's why. You have limited currencies, you have limited starts. So if you can't get to wave 3, don't waste your directives trying to get to wave 3. Just go ahead and get your rewards for the G5 ones. So yeah, there you go. We'll go through that in the video. Free play extra docs. Nothing to do with what we're talking about, James, but as we've said a million times, yeah, we'd like that. We'd like that. Does the solo waves give you credit in the Wave Defense Battle Pass? Another great question. Yes. And proof positive, I have not done any waves at this run. Done. Operation Bulwark completed. So yes, indeed it does. So for those of you who, for whatever reason, do not have access to maybe an alliance or time, it's okay, James. I'm very ADHD, so I'm going to squirrel and I'll lock in, like right there. I'm right there with you. All right, so besides the fact my camera froze. Come on, camera. At least y'all can hear me. Don't know why you got a frozen rev, but I'm still here, I promise. I'm here in spirit and in fact. So as you can see, my Wave Defense Pass has continued, and that's good. So with that, we will hopefully have more players finishing this, less players failing it. More players finishing it. I think that's good. I am glad that I was actually really worried about that counting, to be honest. Now, the only potential negative, and I have seen this race, and I think it's fair to worry about this. There are people worried, okay, well now group waves are just going to fall to the wayside. Here's what I personally think is going to happen, and we'll see if time proves me right or others right. What I think is going to happen is here in the first month, everybody's going to focus on solos. Everybody, because it's the new hotness. But long term, in terms of accessibility, in terms of the amount of runs that you can afford to do, group armadas are still going to be the most prevalent. I think those are still going to be what most people end up doing because you just do not get a lot of these directives. You just don't. I mean, you can hold, I think, Lube, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the limit is 400. But keep in mind that if you get a gift or something, or you get, you know, maybe more in a wave pass, you can hold more than that right here. But you can only naturally earn, I think, 4, and then you get 100 a day. So you're not able to just sit there and hoard a ton of these and then just run them back to back to back, unless you just did not do them for weeks or months at a time, and maybe you bought battle passes and then you saved up the private ciphers. So because of that, you're still going to end up having way more regular waves. So when your average player, let's say 2 months from now, and there's a wave event to do, the group is probably still going to run the groups. So this is intentional. Now, let me tell you the logic behind it. I know some people like it, some people don't. For years, this is just what I've been told. For years, players have said, Copley, sick and tired. Y'all said this. Don't tell me you haven't. We're sick and tired of new things coming out that require me to do something new every single day. Players have been saying that new loops that have to be done daily are terrible. They've been griping about it for years. Because of that, new loops that are coming out now are made to be done once or twice a week, period. And to facilitate that, they limit the currency. What does that do? It lets them do 2 things at the same time. Now, one of these things they're not going to openly say, but Rev can because he's a ginger and he does whatever he wants to do. What's that going to do? Number one, it's not going to allow you to do multiple things in a week. So you're going to get frustrated, or you're going to avoid that frustration. Or number 2, if you want to do more, guess what we got? Hey, we got a pack we can sell you. So it's a double-edged sword. It keeps it limited where you do not have to engage, or if you even feel the FOMO of doing it every day, you can't because the mechanic is not designed for that. Or if you want to go crazy, we got a pack. So logically, it makes sense. It's taking what players have said they don't want, which is they don't want to do something every day. They went, cool, got you. And then now they also have the ability to take advantage of those British people like Loop who want to buy packs. And they'll sell more directives if you want to do more. So that's the drip. Viper says he'd rather have a mug. Sure. So again, I do think that overall, generally speaking, I like when they're coming out with these designs that are not meant to be done every day. I personally like that. But I understand that not everybody's going to fall in that category, which is fine. One thing I remind everybody is that when you come to these type of games, you cannot keep everybody happy. You're not. You're going to always run into somebody who is unhappy. I use PvP arenas as an example of that recently. Not that I'm telling anybody here to like PvP arenas. However, in the first month, when we were tracking, obviously one of the big gripes has been different day, different time. And I think that's a valid concern for people. But at the same time, like when they would run it in the first month before all the shenanigans, again, this is not a making you like arenas argument. Please don't jump in the comments. You had, of the people who were active, like the people who were online, over 40% were doing arenas, right? So what I mean by that is you have all these players saying, well, nobody's online then. Nobody is active. We're at work. Clearly not at work, right? 40% participation rate is an insanely good number for any MMO. Like I play with multiple games. I've worked with NetEase, which is Echoes. I've worked with and still work with Gaijin for War Thunder. They would love to have 40% of their active players actively doing a mechanic at any given time. Like those are great numbers. So the point I'm making is, you have very valid, arguments of people wanting it on different days and different times because of reasons, but you also have this. So it's having all these things in your brain of understanding just because it's how it does or doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's not for other people. Because again, you had 40% of all active players doing it, but by extension, that means you had others who can't. So I think that, you're not going to get everybody happy, but as long as we can get the majority happy, that's good. That we get a try for that. That's the goal. The Engineering, good to see you. Says run groups to help your lower level players get the points they need to be useful in waves. I think that's very valid. One thing we do on server 710, C Engineering is actually in my alliance on 710. Do we run waves to allow those players in the 30s to get those currencies, to get into section 31 and score those points? Keep in mind the solo wave mechanic is only for 45 and above, right? It's the mid G4, G5, G6 mechanic. It's not even really G4 because you have to be 45 and above to even run it. But you still have those players in your alliance you want to help out. You want to help get those players to unlock the favors. Let me click. How about we go to the section 31 faction store and talk about this while I'm just sitting here goofing off in front of the independent archives. Yeah, yay, collections, cool, got my stuff, yay, cool, got it. All right, but there's a lot of things in the section 31 faction store that you want your players to start having access to, right? You want them to have access to quick armada starts, right? Who doesn't want everybody in their alliance to have quick armada starts? Well, to do that, getting your players going early on is the way to go, right? You definitely want to get players to getting that. And you will also have all these different wave favors that will affect, the game now. I think if I could go back in time, if I could turn back time, I would never sing again. What I would do is probably change how I personally view the Section 31 store. As you can see, I don't really do a lot of waves. For me, it's mostly a time issue. I'm in an alliance that does a lot of waves. And I love that they do waves. But the time they consistently do waves at the same time all the time, right? I'm not available to do it when they're doing it. So for a lot of, I've done some waves clearly, but I tend to get left out of waves, as in like I don't get them done. So if I could go back in time, I probably would have prioritized them more, knowing the solo mechanic was going to come out when it did. Now I have been doing a few more waves leading up to this, but just generally speaking, I probably been more into waves. Now in terms of what I've done so far, the shreds, did test those out. The shreds definitely do make a difference, even at level 1. The acute, traceless, and fierce shreds definitely helped out for where I'm sitting at. So nice to pick up to combat, because they have a ton of ISO defense and apex barrier as those fights drag on in these solo waves. But lots of goodies in here. And again, we'll do a video on section 31 about what has the most value in here now. There's a lot of things. So yeah, lots and lots of ways. But my point being, you really want to get your level 30s into this to get going. Why not just join random waves in your server? I'm gonna give you a very selfish answer, Apex. I'll sound really mean. Random groups in any game generally legitimately irritate me because they're usually not good. So to be very clear, this is not an attack on STFC players. This is every MMO I play. I do not like random dungeons, random groups, because those people tend to suck, right? But one thing, look, there are not many things in Star Trek Fleet Command that can get Rev frustrated. But you jump me into a wave and the best we can do is 6 out of 10 because people don't know what the heck they're doing. It really irritates me. I'm not saying I'm right. I probably shouldn't get irritated over something so silly, but it irritates me when we're 4 out of 10 because people don't even know what hostiles are spawning over here and they're just leaking through the other side. Like, it just really bugs me. So I don't do randos. I don't do those. Every now and then I'll jump in and try to help out, and then it happens every time. It's 6 out of 10s or something. And we're not talking like a bunch of level 30 started. There'll be people who are like level 49 and 55 in there who don't know what they're doing, and it frustrates me. So I stay away from random groups. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing. In fact, if you are out there and you're able to teach those players, and you're able to educate those players, and you're able to edify those players, all the synonyms you want to think about, I commend you, and that is so good of you. I can do it really good on YouTube. I can even do it good on Twitch. Dang it, in game, it frustrates me. So I stay away from pub matches. Just don't do that. That has limited me. Again, we talk about things that we choose to do in the game. This is an example of Rev choosing to not do certain content for fun factor, and that's okay. So if you're ever like, hey, can I be better than Rev? Yeah, if you do all your waves, you're going to be better than Rev. Look at my favors. I've done basically nothing. I got the Operation of Festus right there. One, Operation Athena, Operation Solstice, and Quick Start. That's all I've ever done. And then I did go through a really, really, passionate grind to get my skin for the Talios. But if you see, I haven't even gotten it for the Defiant yet. Like, I still have to unlock it for the Defiant. All these PvP officers, as a player who talks so much about loving PvP, look how I don't touch these. None of these are maxed. So if you ever wonder, does Rev just say that? No, he means it. I ignore FOMO in every sense. If I don't enjoy doing it, I don't do it. I don't do it. So that has got to change now because there's so much in here. I just simply can't ignore it. But thankfully, there's solo waves. And nobody can mess up my solo waves. All right. Any chance of group wave directives being converted to solo waves? No, not that I'm aware. Now, I can bring it up to the game designer who went over this, but this is intentionally made to not replace groups entirely. They don't want people to just start abandoning waves or group waves. So you can always check. Do the Apex Shred favors apply the ability of your interceptors or against interceptors? Here, we'll pull this up. So info button. Increase the Apex Shred versus non-armor hostiles for interceptors in wave defense, as in your interceptor. Now, the simple option is if you get all 3 of them, it doesn't matter. But it's specifically for your interceptor. In my case, this is my North Cut. So, but hey, if you ever just like, what if Scopely doesn't work right? Do all 3 of them. Now you're good to go. Now you're good to go. So, agree with your comment on group waves? Yeah, for sure. And I know there are plenty of people who do group waves. Actually, one of the things that Server 20's group global chat is probably the most active in is waves. Right here a few hours ago, waves. And actually, this is pretty quiet. Maybe it's just because of the solos. Usually there's tons of wave requests in here from like the small alliances. I guess the solos have really calmed that down. But yeah, I mean, it definitely happens a lot. I just have never really liked them. All right. I'm saying, if I find it not fun, I just don't do it and wait for future changes to come. Honestly, Jeff, I think that's the best way to play this game. We know 6 months, 12 months, whatever down the road, something is coming, right? It's going to replace whatever we're doing now, make it better, or simply help us catch up for if we did do the skipping. By the way, big thank you in the chat to Laromi. Hope your day is going well. Thank you for supporting the channel. They've been a member here for 58 months. That means not only are they following the channel, they're donating to keep the channel going. Laromi, thank you. That is insane. That's almost 5 years, my friend. Thank you for your constant support, love, and I can't wait till that 60 to happen. Oh, we got to figure some way to celebrate. Thank you so much. I'll just send Laromi a t-shirt or something. Thank you for being an ensign. That's amazing. Thank you for supporting me and the kids. Stalker, if you're going to stalk like that to where the stalking supports my family, thank you very much for stalking. Laromi's been helping fund my kids back when we were living in a shack that had holes in the roof, water leaking down into buckets while I tried to stream. Big thank you to Laromi for helping my family. I really appreciate it. I enjoy waves, but to me, it's hard to find groups or get a group going on our server. That's fair, Almar. So this solo mechanic is going to help that other group of people I talk about who, not like me, had or avoided waves because of time constraints, but simply did not have the opportunity. Now you're going to have the ability to go after them. And then again, get your reputation up. If you're not already getting your reputation up, would encourage you to do so. This is an area that I have definitely, again, how many people here have a higher rank than Rev? I'm not even Spy Master in Section 31. Who here has a higher ranking than Rev? Okay. So I've got a lot to catch up on now. I'm actually excited about it because I like the solo wave mechanic. It's definitely a level of difficulty, which I really like. Yeah, I'm not even Spy Master. I'm sure most of y'all are Spy Master. Spy Master is the top, but still, I'm sure most of y'all are Spy Master. What's your M score for which ship? The Vindicator or for the Stella? I think the Stella is like 145 or something. There's a couple left, but I'm basically maxed. So, yeah, lots of maxed. Lots of maxed. Good job, everybody. Yes, I mean, in a lot of ways, Mirror has become my Stella. Now, am I changing that? I am. Why am I changing that? Well, number one, this is a better rare Zindi directive sourcing than the rare Zindi directives. Like, this is actually cheap sourcing when you talk about what you can win, depending on where you're at. But look at it from my perspective as a G5 player and what I can win. If I'm able to do the solo waves and win, hold on, where's my, let's make sure I'm giving out the right informations. Where's my, yeah, if I win, I'm going to get a total of 3,700 Section 31 keys, 4,500 of the original key, and 2,300 of the mirror key. Yeah, I think I'm going to do fine and dandy. Fine and dandy. Because I can easily afford to jump into this and get these directives. And the reason I would do the Zindi, I've always had an issue with the Zindi because not the rewards are bad, because the ability to do them and the sourcing of them is terrible. Now we're actually starting to get more of that. So if I can, again, 5 for 35, y'all, that is a Zindi Armada. Do y'all remember the rewards for a Zindi Armada? Again, the whole thing we've always talked about is these Zindi Armadas are crap because you just simply can't run them. Like, it takes forever to do a rare. Well, that's a full rare unlock to get artifacts, vinculum fragments, the other currencies, epics, etc., ship parts, blueprints, officers. I mean, the chest was never the problem, right? The chest was never the problem. It was the ability to actually get the chest. I think I've pulled the chest 3 times since they've come out. Maybe 4, right? I'm sure others have done it more. But you actually have like legitimate sourcing to do those now, and those are really good boxes. So, anyway, lots of juicy good things in the Section 31 store now. Really, really like some of the goodies here. Not to mention you're able to get these currencies as well, which have a trade down mechanic. It would be neat to have a trade up mechanic, but you got a trade down mechanic. And you have all kinds of things that you can do. For example, if you need to speed up your Q trials, like maybe you've been sleeping on this, well, you have emblems of assessment you can go after. Maybe you've been sleeping on the quantum communicators. Now you can go after them. You know, there's a lot of goodies in here that have been added that are really going to help people out. I really wish this was rare Armada Tactical Cores. I mean, they heard us for Tactical Cores, just didn't hear it quite right. But then you also have CTs, you have artifacts. I mean, lots of stuff in here that I think a lot of us are going to be going after. So here we are. Here we are. Now, you also have these favors real quick I haven't mentioned. For example, you have the converter system for ship parts that you unlock in here. Shadow Market. Get Explorer ship parts with the rarity of your choice. That's not even the one I'm looking for. Hold on. Where's the converter? That's the payouts. Wait, was that it? And I'm just crazy. That might have been it. But yeah. Anyway, let's do one of these while we're sitting here talking about it. Let's do it. Yeah, it was it. Thank you. Let's go ahead and do one of these while we're sitting here giggling about it like little hens. Let's actually go and do it. How's that sound? Descriptions are terrible. You know what's not terrible, David? Your face. Your face is lovely. I'm so glad you're here. Your face is lovely. Real quick, let me see. I just was throwing this together. I'm not saying this is a perfect crew. The mitigation stats is solid. You could also just do that as well if you want to get that shield mitt. But again, 4%. I mean, it could happen. It could help. Then you also have Boss Man here for dropping their mitigation. I do really want to emphasize again, the strongest thing about these new hostiles is that every round they get more apex barrier, more ISO defense, making a lot of the things that y'all have focused on weaker. Something to consider as you're leveling up. In fact, if you're out there, what Strange New World are y'all running? Can you please put the event calendar on Facebook? I can't get the Discord on this computer. Yeah, Nick, I can. If somebody would send me a message on Discord to remind me following this stream, which we're going to wrap up here in about 20 minutes, just remind me to post those. I'll put it on all of our social media. I'll put it on everything. All right, let's see. Great example right there that things get better. It's just a matter of when they do, but they do. Agreed, Jeff. Agreed. 100%. Unlock G5 Innovative Engineering, and BPs are now 2307 instead of 3000. I mean, the Innovative Engineerings are fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Innovative Engineerings. Hopefully public arenas will work. I have a hard time getting Alliance mates to participate. Agreed. Yeah, I'm hoping that is going to be this upcoming Monday. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see what else. So many questions. I'm sorry. I definitely don't try to skip any questions, but there's a lot going on. But again, just a reminder, I will do a video today for solo waves, going over the basics, some basic crewing. Pipe and row, E-Data, pipe and row Chin for G5s. But your Janeway, EMH dot combos are always good. All right. Just got a response. They've started the conversation with me about level 50 players C and G5s and level 60 C and G6. Hopefully we can get that going. But anyway, don't want to ignore the overlords. Don't want to ignore the overlords. If they have ISO defense, why would Janeway work? Oh, Leonard, you forgot about her captain's ability. Why did I just get like semi-terribly Scottish there? Oh, that was embarrassing. Okay. Forgot about this one. So yes, the ISO defense can negate some of her ISO cascade. Absolutely right. But this ability, still very, very good. It was terrible Scottish Viper. It's absolutely awful. This is very, very good. Remember, this is lowering the effectiveness of shields. So in the beginning, you're still going to get really good ISO damage early on. Remember, it's a cumulative round thing. So as the round goes on, the ISO gets less effective. But this is immediately very good. That captain's ability. And then, EMH Doc, he's not too shabby either, trying to, work with the mitigations of the fight. So, yes, this can weaken as a fight extends, but that captain's ability is still quite good for Janeway. Now, this is a basically pure ISO crit build, right? And funny enough, this build right here is exactly what these new hostiles are designed to fight against, with the exception of the captain's ability. This is ISO, crit, and hull breach. ISO all right here, crit, hull breach, lots of ISO. This is made to combat that. Well, with that in mind, you want to have that Janeway there just to help tip the scales a little bit. Also, one last thing I want to do. Come over in here, even though this is a PvP crew, we're going to throw in Neelix just so I can put a little bit extra oomph on this. And we're going to put Neelix right over here. Just, you wonder why burning, remember, that star charge research. It's going to be a little bit of ISO. Yes, long term, I could weaken, but we're good. All right, let's do this together. You ready? You ready? All right, let's do defend. I'm actually going to start with this. I'm going to boost this time around because I really want to make sure I get it done. I'm also going to have the wave chart pulled up here in the background. So that is, again, we've got it posted in the Discord, but if you haven't seen it yet, real quick, I'll put it on the screen. This one is already in the Discord in the volunteer charts channel, but for those curious, here, make it big. Can you see it? Yeah. I mean, I'll have to put the big graphic up, but you can see it there. You see it enough, right? The wave chart of where everything spawns is already in the Discord in the volunteer charts channel with this spreadsheet. But if you need any of that, if you need help finding it, tag myself, tag a moderator, tag a volunteer. Any of them will be more than happy to help you out. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me double check messages and stuff real quick. Oh, cool. Jules, I didn't know you were in the chat. Good to see you, Jules. Good to see you, Jules. Let me pop this up just so I can have the map handy because I do not have these memorized quite yet on where everything's going to spawn. Reason I brought in the Titan, well, I think y'all know the reason I brought in the Titan. I'm going to get my daily done and make sure I finish this. A little bit of a Fort de la Max. Fort de la Max. So all right, so yeah, James, the G4s have 3 waves. The G5 and G6 have 5 waves each. Now, the patterns are the same regardless for all 3, right? Need your help populating cruise stations? Okay, Jules, I'll be doing that. I want to do it after a stream because I'm having that video roll out in 2 hours and 13 minutes. I've got a time crunch, but I definitely will. And I'll even use some of the stuff that's already in there as well. Is there a wave map available? I may have just said that. But yes, it's in the volunteers charts channel of the Discord inside the Section 31 post. All right, let me just go ahead and activate. Let's get this going. Now, I will go ahead and warn y'all, for those who have it, I've already had some early issues with my Kishara artifact. Kind of annoying. Just a quick FYI. If you die with the Kishara artifact, like active, it'll ruin the Kishara artifact for the others in this run. That's what I've run into twice so far. Again, not trying to be a negative Nancy. Also, something different about these waves. Your Borg Cube's beam does not work in solo waves. I know, you're like, hey, I use it all the time in group waves. Doesn't matter in your group waves. We're not doing groups right now. We're in solos. Borg beam don't work. So, you can bring your cube if it's one of your better ships. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just be cognizant of the fact the beam does not work. All right? Be cognizant of that fact. We'll go ahead and grab this one. Got that coming up there. And we got this one down here. So you see, by the way, see the different depths these spawn at? You got to be really paying attention. These depths will throw you off because there are 3 different layers they can spawn in. And it's these semicircles, or not semi, these full circles that are in the middle of the map. They can spawn at different places. And there's 3 different depths. And there's some, especially in wave 4, get really, really close. So you get really, really close. Can you zoom out this much on PC? Yes, I'm on PC. And I'm not using any type of like helpful tool like the community mod. Not that I'm saying the community mod is bad. I'm just showing what the average player would see on PC. This is my full zoom out with the extended zoom turned on the native PC client. So nothing fancy. Now on wave 3, they're almost all going to spawn up top. So you can see the first rungs of these right here, and we'll get these hit. Feel cognizant? No, you just did it. So, all right. And you can see again, this is all, there's 5 that are going to launch in wave 3. I get that one going and go back this. And then almost forgot about the trailer at the bottom. You've only got 3 lives, so you got to be Johnny on the spot. You can't be slacking or lacking. Got to be Johnny on the spot. Then wave 4, positioning really good to kind of try to set up for wave 4 because they're all going to spawn in like right in this early circle. You want to try to get 2 of your ships at least right down here at the bottom next to. This is why I wanted players to have Dane. If you've unlocked Dane, you want to have him early. Look how quick these are coming up in on me. You want to have that thing ready to go because you don't want these to slip by you here in these early rounds. That could definitely be no bueno. All right, let me get that there, and we'll go grab that one, and we'll leave that one there at the very end. The game crashes when opening my event tab. All right, all I can really say for that is a ticket. I don't know if you're experiencing that. Uh-oh, not when the ship's allowed. I don't know what that bug message is for, but just to show you, can't cutting beam. Cannot cutting beam these hostiles. They have an ablative shield. All right, finally, wave 5 is going to spawn mostly in the south, but not too terribly up close. Could be kind of in the middle right there, as you can see. Go ahead and hit these. And a little bit of extra impulse. Jules, did we ever look and see if the impulse on these was different for different hostiles? I think it is, but that could just be a perception thing. That could just be a perception thing. Look, these things can punch. They hurt. These will hurt you. Make sure you get them in and get them good. These last hostiles punch and hurt quite a bit here for me on this one. As long as I can beat all but 2 of them, we're good. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Did I get there in time? Looks like it leaked through. I can't tell if it actually hit it or not. Did I save it? I think I did. All right, well, there we go. 5 out of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a completed wave defense. All points, all rewards, all the time. Yay. Again, look what you get for completing it. And Jules, we did have a couple of people with various or different scoring. I'm going to double check the scoring real quick. So I got 23, 45, 37. Okay, so that's right. We had a couple people with different scores. Make sure we're getting all those. But there's my collect. There's our win. There's our SMS. Do we know if Lorca's wave impulse ability works on solos? Well, I have not specifically tested Lorca's, but every single wave existing research or officer has worked. I've tested so far. There's no reason for it to not work. I've not personally tested it. I didn't even think of doing it this time. So I didn't even think of it. But every single other wave thing I've tested for pre-existing waves like mirrors and stuff works. No reason to believe that doesn't work. And just like when Mirror came out, we had to say it's a legitimate question. Whether previous existing wave stuff worked, everything that is wave related, research, favor, and officer wise should work with solo waves. So, are they going to allow us to convert group wave directions to these new solos? I'm pretty sure never. That was never something intended. So, wave impulse skill is useless. The other impulse skill works in waves. You just have to kill a hostile. Well, I think the argument they would make there is I think in the early rungs of it, it's faster, I think. Or is it not? Because this one is increases after storing a ship, increases base impulse speed until your ship's next battle. So very much like Huron works. I think the wave defense argument is the fact that it's faster early on. The 10 is 17 here. What is it on here? Nope, it's identical. So it honestly doesn't even seem like it matters. Just one requires you to kill a hostile first. I don't really, But I do want to be honest. I've not personally tested that specific ability. So Nigel says, I can confirm all wave-related stuff works, and I've tested it myself. Good, you tested all of them. Nigel, you freaking try hard. I love that. I have tested several of them, but I will admit that there became a point where I just started assuming all the others worked because some of these worked. So, yeah. Free-to-play research and construction spaces. I'll be honest, James. I don't know if they'll ever do extra builder, extra researcher for free because it's $5 and $10. And if you look, even like games like Clash of Clans, that's $5 for the extra builder. $5 for the extra builder. James, if you want some tip tricks, maybe you, for whatever reason, you don't want to spend your money. Cool. There are a lot of apps out there that'll let you earn Google cards. For example, me and my wife, I think it was not Shopify. What was it? There was this one that we would just, when we went to the grocery store together, you would get points for walking into stores and scanning items. And, over a couple months, you earn $10. There you go. I forgot what it was called, but there's a lot of those type of things. Like if you just want to earn like a Google gift card for something that you do all the time, cool. James says, I'll spend my time, but not my money. I mean, that's your prerogative. I believe that if you're an adult with a job, you should give all games money, but that's just my opinion. It's not a law. I'm not the president. But if you don't want to spend your money, you can just do free apps. I know a lot of people do like the survey stuff. Get you a Google gift card. Have at it. Have at it. Haven't tried these yet, but my alliance mate's saying their mission did not continue at participating in the specified section. Is this a known issue? It was mentioned yesterday. I have not personally talked to overlords about it, but it was mentioned to them, yes. So, what would you say average server time to reach ISO 2-3 unlock? What do you mean, William? Because that's just getting territory. What do you mean? Could you clear up wording? Wave solo active shred for the interceptors and wave defense. That's for your interceptor. For your interceptor. Okay, that's for only $5. I might actually buy it. It is. Yeah, the extra builder is $5. The extra researcher is 10. There are various things that are cheap in the game. The pack that I designed years ago is 20. I mean, so they have lower price items. Obviously, that's not the theme, generally speaking, but yeah, I can't see it on this account because I already have it. But there are things out there. Believe it or not, James, it's crazy. Again, I'm not trying to tell you to go spend your money. It's your money. They have $1 packs now when you start on new servers, which is just kind of mind-blowing to me. So Vicman says you need to complete a solo wave, not just participate for Redemption Part 3 and Part 5. Noted. New server reaching the ISO 2/3 unlock, just guess is fine. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what you're referring to because you can get ISO 2 and 3 as soon as a server launches. I guess I'm just not catching on specifically what you're talking about. But yeah, Tarkus, straight up, your interceptor. Thank you, Viper. Dang it, you sent it early, but thank you, Viper. I've got a couple more minutes for questions in a minute. Again, I got to get my video edited for Solo Waves, and I definitely want to help out Jules with a spreadsheet. If y'all have not checked out the spreadsheet, check it out. It's in the Volunteer Charts channel. It's super useful. If you don't believe it's useful, well, that's just silly. It is useful. It just is. Here it is. It's in our Volunteer Charts channel. Let's see. Crew suggestions. Oh, this my man, my myth, my legend wanted me to work on this with him. So, which, nothing wrong with these crews. Look at that. Speed and ISO. I don't know if I'd run that one as my #1 ship. But this is why we're going to have multiple options. All right, there's a lot of options to put in here. Yeah, that works. Ooh, Nesmith, one I don't actually have. Actually, none of my accounts have Nesmith. Not a single account. Even my highest level accounts don't have Nesmith. Yeah, we can do this. I love the Dane one there. Love the Dane one. Yeah, we'll do this. Surprised you don't have more Strange New Worlds already in there, Jules. Where are the Strange New Worlds? Strange New Worlds. Does the $20 track work for the special wave event? So no, here's how the special wave event works. I did finally get clarity. If you buy the $20 battle pass, the wave pass, there's then another item you have to buy. I think it's $30 that will let you access the special cash in the event store. Q squared. So for those that don't know, if you go into your event store, there's like a special wave milestone thing right here. And it is from either buying the Elite or from buying the $20 one and then the bonus pack that gets sold. So, who's your fourth thought? Strange New Worlds? Jules, man, I'll be honest. I find Strange New Worlds is doing a heck of a lot better than our ISO builds because of the amount of ISO defense and Apex that these things get loaded out with. But that is relative. I'm going to pull up one of these. They just get, depending on the round count, this is only 4 rounds, but man, it really starts to add up. So look how much of my ISO they're mitigating here. That's insane. Look at that. That's because their ISO defense is so high. Like, of my 50 million ISO, mitigated 44 million of it in round 4. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. That's not even on my ISO builds. That's running this build. Which, by the way, I actually really like this build for it on maybe your second ship or even your strongest ship because of the regens. If they're going to try to, make my power as weak as possible, fine. I'm just not going to let you hurt my ship. Not going to let you hurt my ship. And then you do have the rewards here, which doesn't do anything. But Apex Barrier, Shield Regen, Hull Regen. Pretty solid for these new waves because these hostiles want the fights to go as long as possible. My response, cool. As long as you want it to be. You're not going to hurt me, though. I've got Apex Barrier, Hull Regen, and Shield Regen. Fire away, boss. Fire away. So, obviously, the new crew will also be super useful. And speaking of new crew there, we can probably go ahead and already put the Enterprise E crew with, what's her name? Dang it, why am I blanking on her name already? The new rare officer lady who pairs with the Enterprise E. I feel like she's already going to be that third synergization by Enterprise E. Yeah, Garrett, thank you. But for those that did not catch it, the new officers, I personally really like this. The new officers do not have their own group. They group with pre-existing groups. I love that, personally. So you got Zeph over here. He groups with Section 31, right? Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, he groups with Section 31. Giorgio, she groups with Strange New Worlds. So she's grouped with Strange New Worlds. And then Rachel Garrett is grouped with Enterprise E. I personally like this. I feel like they deserve a good hand clap. Instead of creating yet another new group, they added in some officers to improve synergy and improve all the stuff for pre-existing. I like that move. I think that was a pretty good move by the Overlords at Scopely. Jules says, my mileage might be because I put Strange New World on my weakest ship. So I had Strange New Worlds on this one, and I just ran a random Strange New World crew. I know not everybody will run it like I'm running it on my Northcut. But, I mean, my Northcut was doing quite well. I mean, obviously it loses here, but it had already lost most of its hull. Still put in pretty massive dent, and this fight went 5 rounds. Yesterday had some of the fights going 40 rounds. I don't know if we still have some of those from yesterday. Oh, we do. Look at that. So let's see. This is one without a boost, by the way. No max fort. It goes 26 rounds. And this is why, Jules, I'm really like, not that I'm saying don't run ISO officers, but man, it doesn't take long for that ISO and that apex of that other side to really, really get going, man. Gosh, it gets going. So again, like my ISO has basically got completely negated. His apex barrier, look at that, just 31 million. Only be able to put 1.8 million down when I did a shot that combined for about 100. So it's rough. Also has a crit reduction one that also makes crit builds kind of difficult. So these things, they got some good defense. Got some good defense. So yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to wrap it up here a little bit earlier because, again, I'm trying to get this video out in under 2 hours so that it can get out to all of y'all. Love y'all and appreciate y'all. If you need any help, message me on Discord or Facebook. Right after this, I promise, I'm going to try to not forget in the next 45 seconds to go post that calendar out for all of y'all. Lots of content on the day. Hit me up if you need me. Live long and plunder. Stay safe out there. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek League Man video. Love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for those who support us financially, because Lord knows we cannot do it without y'all. So big thank you. And if you are here, like the video before you jump out. It helps out a lot. All right. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.